and do a little message. Guess it's the last week of Lent, right? I can't believe it went by fast. Easter's coming upon us. Time of resurrection, rising to new life. Jesus is coming through and he's saying it's like we are leaving, we're preparing to leave the flesh, the old meat case, the old body. And he's saying not literally, he's like we are and we aren't. We've literally have outgrown. It's kind of like a cocoon or a snake, more like a snake that sheds its skin as it gets bigger. It outgrows its skin, its energy expands and it goes beyond the limited skin and it sheds its skin. And it is as if that is what's happening to us in the human state. We are shedding our flesh in a sense that we have undergone much transformation. Spiritually, it has affected the physical. Like they say, we are becoming more crystalline, more light body. The flesh, this is beautiful. The flesh can no longer contain us. Our flesh can't contain us in the way that it was. You have outgrown symbolically your body, the life you were living. You are being called for more expression, more love, more abundance. And he's saying, yes, more money, more love, more abundance, more you being expressed through many past avenues, as a parent, as a friend, as a teacher, as a worker, as a co-worker, as a parent, as a human being. And as the human being form is, it's not about letting go of the human part of us. It is about really embracing the humanness in you that actually sets you free from the limitations. It's about embracing and accepting your human qualities, your human nature, your feelings, your emotions, your strengths, your weaknesses. That all seems very sensory, very fleshly. So what actually helps us to escape the limitations that we've been living, it paradoxically is through accepting them, allowing them, embracing them, not judging them. So it is in the acceptance that you actually free yourself of the limiting qualities. You no longer have to keep playing out scenarios, experiences in your journey that try to get you to accept. The universe doesn't need to take control to repeat patterns and cycles within your life. Once you come to that place of acceptance, the cycles and the repetitiveness in our journey is simply because we are not embodying, understanding, or processing something in the human form. We came to be human. You came to experience all that it entails, the ego, the senses, the flesh, all of it. You came for that. So as you can accept it and have compassion for yourself, then you escape it because you free yourself of those cycles, of those patterns, of those limitations. And then you've grown beyond those experiences where you are able to experience more you, more love, more expression, more art, more sensual, sexual energy, expressing art, creativity, imagination coming into form in your personal experience. Very cool. I didn't know what was going to come through, and I love it, like when I come on and then all of a sudden information floods me and I just share what's coming through. And something really funny that I was talking to a friend this week, and I was talking to him and telling him about how kind of religious he is, and he got kind of not upset, but he says, "Okay, I'm not going to church anymore. I'm not going to mass anymore. I'm giving it up for Lent." And I thought it was so funny. But in the same token, it was so profound because he was giving up, or saying, he didn't, but he says, "I'm giving up mass for Lent." And that's such like almost blasphemy, or almost like contradictory, or it's an oxymoron of what Lent is, because Lent is about, Jesus in his crucifixion and his resurrection, but the Lent where he went in the 40 days and 40 nights, or the time prior of him communing with his Father, communing with himself, going away on his own, denying himself the physical comforts and interactions and engagements of the human. He went into the desert to commune with his Father, to face his demons, to fast. And that's what Lent kind of symbolizes, is that journey that Jesus took, removing yourself from some of the distractions that you typically would be engaged in order to commune with a deeper, more authentic, pure, raw aspect of your God self, of your Father within, of your heart's energy. So it's about, what are you giving up? Maybe you gave up a particular activity, or in the traditional sense, it's always about giving up some sort of food. But the food is only symbolic of a food, nourishment that you've been feeding your body, that you're removing in order to feed yourself with more spiritual energy, your heart energy, your the depth of your true nature, your true self. So when he said, "I was giving up mass for Lent," in essence, he was making a good point, where the human thinks it through its conditioning or beliefs, or the way it was brought up, thinking it needed to go to mass, thinking it needed to follow a set belief system, or how it was brought up, or the tradition, or the ceremony, or the another word for ceremony, certain rituals that it needed to follow. So it actually was a really good point, because that human was going there because it thought it needed to. When it removed itself from the very thing that it thought was feeding it, it allows to allow the physical body, the human part, is allowing itself to tap into something even deeper, beyond the mass, beyond the church. Because again, that is just demonstrating or representative of something deeper within us anyways. It's a reflection, a mirror of an experience that we are really partaking within our own self. Like even like in tradition, the Catholic Mass has communion, and they consider it to be the only real communion that you really are time shifting to, and it really becomes the blood and body of Christ. You're literally like shifting where Jesus' presence and the consecration of the host and the wine are being consecrated with his real flesh. You're literally drinking his real flesh and his blood in that communion. But that's also, it's literal, but it's also showing how you are always able to commune with that Jesus. And what does Jesus mean to you? Is it a master? Is it a person outside of you? Yes, it's always this and that. It is the physical and the spiritual, but Jesus lives within our heart, representative of that unconditional love, representative of Christ's consciousness, his union with the Father within him, which we also have available to us. So I just thought it was very fascinating to give up church or mass for Lent, but it allows you to go in a more raw, authentic way, the way Jesus did into the desert. We can remove ourselves from the mass or church and go deep within our own true connection, our own communion with the Father within us. So I thought that was cool. And he didn't really give it up, but I just thought it was kind of funny because it was more like just kind of fighting it. But it was very meaningful because when you look at it even that way, giving up or removing yourself from something you're used to, and it keeps you out of that cycle, and then you're going within to connect to something deeper. Not that any kind of church or service is removing you or keeping you in a cycle. If you're continuing on growing, gives you food, gives you some food, you go within. Sorry, I got some incense burning and it's tickling my nose. So it gives you food, but you're being called during the Lent season to go within and get more organic food. That's a good way to look at it. You're going within and getting organic, tempered with food in here, spiritual food. So very, very awesome. Very cool. So before I came live, I did shuffle from the Christ Consciousness deck. And again, his hand is open, right? I love the way he's giving and receiving all in one. And everything is like the opposing forces all in one, like the yin, yang, the give, the take, the dark, the light. It's all called into a unity, like as we dissipate the idea of separation, thinking God is outside of us or Jesus is outside of us, we're dissipating the idea that we're separate from that love, from God. And as we do that, everything becomes more unified. It's more complete. It's more whole. You're able to be human and have human thoughts and accept them while simultaneously, embodying unconditional love. So you might take thoughts that you thought weren't good or whatever that you labeled or judged. Now you're able to accept them, embrace them, knowing that's what you came for. That's God's source energy expressing and getting to know itself through the flesh and human experience. And yet simultaneously hold that God nature of unconditional love, or believing and connecting and holding that in your heart. So it's about holding the polarity simultaneously as we dissipate the idea of anything outside of us. It's this and that. It's giving and taking. When you receive, you're also giving to the other person, right? The person giving you a gift or giving you their energy or time or space. You are receiving, but you're also giving them the gift of being able to share and to express and to give something back. So it's always, it's a give and take. Everything works symbiotically, everything, especially as we connect and give ourselves that time to go within and to connect with our organic spirit, nature, God, our own intimate connection of that relationship within us as we remove ourselves. Whatever it was you're giving up, it's not a giving up. It's creating space for a deeper, more authentic, organic connection to who you really are. How awesome. All right. I'm going to just clear the energy and ring the bells. I don't know what oracle came through, but let me just do that. My string needs to be lengthened. Jesus coming through and going, yes, very well spoken and very well interpreted. It could be tricky territory when you are expressing. So when you go within and you connect to your authentic self or your organic God within you, your nature, it can be tricky territory to track. It's the triple T, tricky territory to track. When you're connecting to something that isn't typical, that isn't traditional, that steps outside of the boundaries or the boxes, you're stepping out of it. So it can be tricky territory to trek because it may come under scrutiny, or people might say, what? Give up Mass for Lent? What? You're connecting to your organic God within. What? So you crack open information and energy that allow others to also receive. They're able to receive what you are connecting to, that Jesus within your own heart, your own unconditional love, your own spirit within. Jesus says, you have come to do what he has done and more. Jesus says, the kingdom of heaven is within you. The kingdom of heaven is now. It's not tomorrow, because there only is the now. The past, the present, the future, all exist within your own organic God within, your own consciousness. Very cool. One more. Just saying, ring, ring, go the bells. Ring, ring, go the bells. So the ring is like an epiphany, new insight, new energy being broken into and reverberating out, almost like ding, you're breaking up clashing energies, almost like rubbing two sticks together to make a fire. You're bringing together to break open, to release the light, the spirit within it, to ignite a fire, holy fire, passion, inspiration, aspiration, creativity. So you are like a bell ringing, releasing that information, that light, that new vibration that reverberates out. So giving your time to reflect, introspect on things that you may have questioned or didn't understand, or having the challenge of removing something outside of you to connect within, creates that kind of irritant. It removes the blockage, the irritant, the clashing of polarities, break open energy and spirit and light and new information within you to be shared. All right, so let's see what the card is. Very cool. All right, what do we got, Jesus? We have, holy crap. This is unbelievable. So I was just talking about the light being released and given and received. She's holding a candle. They all are holding this light, this candle, being that light in the darkness, breaking through the unknown, the blockages, the untrekked territory. You allow yourself, by removing yourself from the outside distractions, you allowed yourself to go within and to trek the unknown territory that was lying within you, that holds the wisdom, that holds the knowledge, that holds that freedom to be set free. How awesome. It's called Stand Up, Steadfast Vision. They're looking at the light. And where is that light? The light is you, the light within your heart, the Christ consciousness that lives within you, the pure God source energy available to you, without synagogues, without construct, without buildings, without churches, without formal education, without even a Bible. So my daughter, Chantel, said something very profound as well. She was arguing, like her older brother, my son, was arguing and telling her she needed to go to church. And she says, and she's very psychic and she's very, very in tune, and she comes up with profound things out of nowhere. She says, you do not need to go to church to open up a Bible. Now, it's this and that. You literally don't need to go to church to open up a Bible, but it almost can extend to, you don't need that outer physical experience to open up that knowledge and wisdom in here that the Bible holds. So profound, so beautiful. And I'm not diminishing any of that, of course. It's this and that. It's just in the past, we needed that guidance. We needed leaders. We needed people to tell us what to do. But now we have connected and we've grown and we've ascended and we've evolved and expanded through our own inner work, our own reflection, contemplation, challenges in life, and gone within through gratitude and questioning. We have released that light. We're holding it. We're looking at the light. All of these people are looking at the light that dissipates the darkness. They're not holding the light and looking over here in the dark. Their eyes are focused on the light, looking up, meaning representative of higher frequencies, expansion. Their eyes aren't closed, which is beautiful too. When we close our eyes, we can tune within. I channel a lot with my eyes shut, but their eyes are open. So that's also saying, as we close this Lenten season and we enter Easter, everything that we connected to within our heart through our own solitude, our own going within or alone time or creating space for that connection is now going to be reflected in our reality. It's not a closing of the eyes and going within now. The eyes are open and they're staring at the candle. That means the manifestation of their connection in their reality. It's now part of their physical experience. They're the portal of the light of Christ consciousness being dispersed in their world. It's so beautiful. You are the portal of Christ consciousness pouring into the world. You are that change. You are that light. You are the peace. You are the harmony. You are the book of knowledge. You are heaven. You are new earth. You are the new vision. You are creation. How beautiful. Congratulations. All right. So what's the number here? It is, oh my gosh, these numbers always get me. 25? Let me see. I'm not sure what that says. Nope. 52 maybe? I literally cannot read those numbers. I should have found it before. 31? Is that what it says? I have to like glance at it and don't let it know I'm looking. Yes, 31. So 31, 3 representing the Holy Trinity, the Father, Son, Holy Ghost, or mind, body, spirit, mating, crone, and whatever the other one is. The 3 create a nice solid base. It is the Holy Trinity. With the 1, you are being the leader. You have connected, you have created this temple, this tripod, this Holy Trinity within your own being as being that leader, as not being a sheeple, but being a leader unto yourself and taking the action to connect. The 3 plus the 1 is a 4, creating foundations, building blocks, new earth, strong stability, 4 pillars to build upon, to build this new world, to build this new reality. All right, let's see what it says. Steadfast vision. Okay, I'll show you the picture and we'll read it and see what the book says. Jesus, through his ministry, had frequent occasions when he directly challenged the status quo. Oh my God. So when he says, I'm giving up Mass for Lent, that, and not to diminish that, of course, but just like the herds, taking the moment to go within, to connect with his organic self of the day. He did so when he felt that they were unjust and outdated. You are bringing the new light. You are breaking the blockages of the old paradigms, the constructs, the boundaries. You're breaking free by creating space to go within, to connect to your light, unfiltered. All right, he was not apathetic or timid. He spoke out in radical ways, triggering. Remember, we just said that you might be met with controversy even as you go within and you release this new wisdom and this new vision and these new ideas and thoughts. That is your purpose as a master light blaster. That is your role. That was what your soul came for. Not to follow status quo, to go within, to connect with your organic self, God, light, energy, to bring that forth in, to be that portal, that channel, that opening into your world. I love that Jesus was a rebel. All right. He spoke out with radical ways, triggering, although this wasn't his intention, but you're going to trigger those that are dead set in the old ways, because a lot of times people don't maybe want to grow, or it's based in fear, and they're not allowing the expansion. You have outgrown the flesh that you were living. So it will, as you expand, trigger, as you go through your own transformations, because you are bringing new information that's going to be challenged because it's new. It's organic. It's authentic to your light. Right now, you may be feeling compelled to stand up for an injustice or a cause that you hold dear. You may struggle to see the oppression, inequality, or poverty in the world and think, what can I do? Yet we are all more powerful than we imagine. And when we lend our voice presence, remember, giving up, creating space to experience your own presence and support to, so when we lend our voice, our presence and support to something worthwhile, we help many. Often we wait for someone else to make the first move. But even if no one else joins you, it builds your sense of who you are and what you are, impacting your legacy left for future generations. Jesus is stepping in right now and he's saying you all should be so proud. You should be so proud of your journey, of your work, of your intentions, of your actions, of your intents. And he's showing me like something really breaking and crumbling, but what's released within it, it's almost like the dragon. Remember, the dragon eggs didn't exist and now they came back into reality, and they're coming alive. They're coming alive. The dragons are being born. That light that was repressed for a millennia is coming back forth, which is that light of transmutation, transmuting the darkness into light, purifying freedom. All right. You may have been shunned, Think about the troubles it may be environmentally, politic, social, or something that you've experienced firsthand. You may have been shunned, misunderstood, vilified, or judged for something you hold true. It takes bravery to speak up and be seen, but like Jesus, it can create waves that can lead to extraordinary change if we are brave enough to stand up. Well, that's what you guys do. You're masters. Masters of what? Not masters of changing. Masters of your own energy and connection and being the opening to your organic self and allowing that to pour into your world. That's what you're masters of. Not masters of others. Not masters of your world. Self-mastery. Allowing the authenticity of who you are. Your connection. Your God. Your wisdom. Your knowledge that you came to imprint. You came here to imprint your divine frequency. And that's not the end all, by the way. Others will take that. Other future use will keep expanding. Life never ends. It's eternal. You will find there are others who share your vision of a better world, and the kinship and support of being like-minded in this time is helpful. A gathering of your soul tribe can happen online or in person, or will make you feel a sense of belonging. You may have felt quite alone and isolated and feeling as though few see the world as you do. And in truth, to be sensitive and empathic is to care deeply compared to those who turn a blind eye. You are here to help make a difference, to be the advocate for light. Oh my God. We are the advocates of light, guys, through our own change within. And it's not necessarily a change within. Jesus is saying it's an allowance, allowing that. This card also is a nod to unity and coming together around a centralized point, such as the Master Light Blasters. Be the peace, remembrance, and freedom, or something else. Solidarity, steadfastness, and being together as one holds the promise Jesus taught us of where two or more are gathered in my name, miracles can happen. This may also be a time when your unhealed aspects are being illuminated. This may have been stirred up by current stories in the collective, media, victims of abuse, women's rights, sexual identity, racial inequality. A highlighted story can touch us and help us to identify a story, an experience, a pain that needs to be heard and healed within us. We are not separate from the collective. The collective is a collection of unhealed trauma and pain that we play part in as well. It touches us at a personal experience when we allow the reflection to show us our unhealed parts. The light shines in the darkness, and the darkness has not overcome it. In the first chapter of John's Gospel, it identifies the light that you have within you that can heal anything brought out of the shadows, as well as bringing understanding and peace. Me and Chantel just watched the last episode of the new Outlander series, and how Claire has those healing qualities, and she healed that baby that should have been dead. But because it was based in her own experience, if any of you are Outlander people, oh my God, it was really good. And it's just like reflecting even the message of today, because she thought she had a baby or stillborn or a baby that died. And through her experience, she was able to bring healing. And the color was blue. You know how we always say we're Blu-ray? That light blue light unto the infant that she was delivering. Being around, so as we heal, simultaneously, as we heal the outside collective through our own personal connection to it. Being around positive, motivated, uplifting people will also benefit us at this time, not those seeking to derail or thwart your path in light via words, thoughts, and deeds. It may be advisable to review, this is so important, this is about healthy boundaries and honoring your temple. It may be advisable to review the company that you keep. But if needing to be around those, for example, with draining energy via duty and responsibility, ensure you are spiritually shielded. So even when you are shielded, you are protected, you are supported. I get that message so many times personally with things in my own personal family. We are shielded, we are protected. Because it was also a soul contract to be part of that as well. So we come with that protection as well. Ensure that you are spiritually shielded. You may be able to inspire them, but remember, we cannot force or change anyone against their will. Just demonstrate loving action and change, which others can follow or not via their free will. Very powerful, very beautiful, very applicable, very applicable to our own personal journey. I know it is mine.